welcome back to a Sporting Blizzard podcast. Today I'm joined by my father, Tony. Say hello to everybody, Tony.
Hello, everybody. Tony.
Oh, great. We're in that type of mood tonight. We're going to be reviewing Bucks Seahawks, which is going to suck for him because he's a Seahawks fan. We're going to have higher and lower on teams in the NFC as the point they are in the season. And we're going to have our Week 11 picks, I believe it is now. We're in Week 11?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let's get started. As the resident Seahawks fan here, what'd you think of the game?
Well, of course, they lost. So it's not that I'm really excited about it. But going into that game, I told you what Seattle had to do to, make a go of it was to utilize their tight ends. And in that first half, all they tried to do was just run, hit DK out on the edge, and they weren't operating with any sort of rhythm, and it cost them. And in the second half, they came out, and lo and behold, they start utilizing the tight ends. They start going with a quicker pass game, which I really don't understand why they weren't doing anyway, considering Tampa Bay was blitzing as much as they were. But that can be revisionist history because it just didn't happen. All in all, Tampa Bay deserved the win because Seattle just didn't do what they needed to do, and Tampa Bay played a pretty darn good game. So, White had probably one of the best games, if not the best game he's had all year long, and they beat Seattle. So kudos to them. I still like where Seattle's at. They still have some things they can definitely work on, and I really think that they need to learn when is a good time to use, more of an upbeat play calling system, and when to kind of stall the game out a little bit.
I'm confused on this game, mostly because what are the Buccaneers at this point? Are they good? Are they bad? Did they get a fluke win? Is it something we're going to see more consistently? They played fine football, but I'm just watching them, and they're just an uninspired football team, which is rare to say for a Tom Brady-led team.
I honestly think they came out with a lot of passion. They got a lot of pieces back on the defense, and their offense looked better than it has in a while. They got some pieces back on the offense. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see moving forward what they're going to be like, but I would definitely not call them uninspired. I thought they played a really good football game. They were flying to the ball. They were having a good time. They were having fun, and it showed.
Maybe uninspired is the wrong choice of words. Maybe I meant to say was more bland. Like, there's just no spice to this team right now. I just don't see it. They're fine, but they kind of feel mediocre. And, again, that's rare to say about a Tom Brady team. Their defense played better, but I still have major concerns about Devin White and coverage. Their corners, I'm concerned about. Their offensive line is a major concern still.
They got 5 players back on defense. All right. And they got 2 players back on offense. So, I don't know why you want to think that they're just playing blah, because they came out and they beat a hot team. And their defense did it convincingly. Their defensive line got after them. That's the most pressure I've seen Tryon give. And I know he's changed his name, but I don't want to massacre it, so I'm just going to go with Tryon. But they got after it, and they were the aggressive team, and it showed.
See, we have 2 different opinions after this game, because if the first half Bucks can show up for the entire game, then sure, that defense was great. The second half Bucks, I did not like them. I thought they got lucky by a Geno Smith fumble on that drive in the red zone. I believe if Geno Smith doesn't fumble, Seattle wins, and Tampa is right back under 500. This team is just, I'm not buying into them. And I was gun-ho. They're the slam dunk NFC champions in the offseason. I look at this team now, I think mediocrity. And listen, they don't have the hardest schedule down the stretch. Benefit of playing in a weak division. You got a bye week, then you play the Browns without Watson still. The Saints, who are struggling on their own right, but have given the Bucks issues. The 49ers, who I'm still not sold on them being a good team. The Bengals, hey, they're going to probably have Jamar Chase back by then. Best of luck. The Cardinals, bad team. Panthers, bad team. Falcons, bad team. So I think they're going to finish strong, but I think they're a wild card exit. Because this team, I'm looking at probably 6 losses at the end of the day. I think they win almost every game down the stretch except the Bengals game. But they're not against good teams. And you can say, hey, you're getting hot at the right time. You're going to go in the playoffs. With what I saw in this second half, compared to the first half, was bad football on defense. And you can say they got these guys back. They got these guys back. Okay, I don't see any improvement yet. Maybe they come back against Cleveland and they beat up Jacoby Brissett. They stop Nick Chubb, and I'll be like, okay. But until that happens, I'm not buying a single thing about the Bucks.
Well, I think one thing you are forgetting is that, Seattle had a little bit to do with the difference in play in the second half. So they switched things up and they went to an offense that is pretty. Seattle has a lot of weapons. Their tight ends aren't superstars, but the fact that they can run a 3 tight end set and all 3 of them can catch, 2.5 of them can block. I think that they just started doing something that Tampa Bay isn't as good as they were in the first half, but a lot of teams can't do that. A lot of teams don't have the weapons on the inside that can complement the weapons on the outside. And then you have to cover the entire field with Seattle. They've been proving it all year long, with the exception of that San Francisco game. And so you can't basically rob Peter to pay Paul when you're playing them unless they get in their own way. And that fumble in the red zone by Geno, hey, it was what it was. They read the play. They stopped the play. He got, kind of flustered. He got flustered, and then he panicked, and then he ran it, and, White caused the fumble. So that was a good play by White. If Geno doesn't fumble, or if they would have actually called a regular play instead of this trickery that they like to do down in the red zone, who knows what would have happened. But once again, I say a lot of that has to do with the fact that Seattle, when they're hitting and when they're calling the correct play calls for what they need to be doing, they're tough to defend because you can't double both receivers and then just, hope your linebackers can stop their tight ends, because in fact, I don't know of any team in the league that has linebackers enough to stop if Seattle is using their weapons efficiently. And then you also have to worry about this guy out of the backfield that, is pretty dynamic in his own right. So I like I said, and we can agree to disagree on it, but I think that Tampa Bay proved that they're getting healthy at the right time, and we'll see what happens down the road. Are they a Super Bowl caliber team? I don't think so right now, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that they're back in the driver's seat for that division.
Well, that's not saying much. That's saying that the 5'9" guy is going to win the competition with 5'5" guys in basketball. Here's the question I want to ask, though. The Bucks right now, if the season ended today, they would host the wild card game. Do you know who they would play?
San Francisco?
Nope. They'd host the New York Football Giants. Who's winning that game?
It's tough to tell. And here's my reason why. Here's the reason why I say that. What's the Giants' strength?
Run. Vita Vea. Countered.
Vita Vea. So, when you have a guy that dynamic, that can take on 2, sometimes 3 blockers, who knows? With the way that their offense played, Tampa Bay's offense played, I'd say they can definitely put points up against the Giants.
See, I question that.
You're questioning that because the Giants' offensive line is pretty good, and their defensive line. I'm
Okay, I
sorry,
was about to be confused why we
I
were
was
bringing back the line.
their defensive line is pretty good, and it is. They are dynamic. 2.5 seconds. Tom Brady didn't get flushed at all. He had plenty of time because he was getting the ball out of his hands so quickly. And Godwin was playing more like Godwin of old. So, and Julio actually showed up and he made some plays. So maybe he's healthy. They got Brait back. I think Brady's finally getting some confidence in Otten. So they've got a lot of talent there that can exploit not a very deep secondary.
No, that's true. The Giants do have an issue in secondary matchup with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's a tough game for even the best secondaries in the NFL.
Exactly. Honestly, if we picked, I'd probably pick Tampa Bay.
See, I'd pick the Giants. I feel like, what's the old saying? How do you beat Brady? This has been how many years? This is how people said.
Go up the middle.
The Giants have that ability to do that. I don't think Seattle has that ability yet. I think they're a couple players away. This class has got a couple guys up the middle. Cough, cough. Jalen Carter's probably going to be a Seahawk. Just going to inform you guys that now with how the Broncos are playing. I think the Giants have the ability up front to fluster Brady and cause issues. And let's also not forget, Tom Brady's never beat the Giants in a playoff game.
No, and I get that, but these aren't the Giants.
I know, but I just wanted to throw that out there. No, unless they find a fountain of youth for Michael Strahan, it's not the same Giants.
Definitely not. But it's going to be
Michael Strahan still is an intimidating man. I would not want to block him.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Yep. So we want to get into higher or lower, buy or sell or hold is what I'm going to say it. On these teams, do you want to buy, sell, or hold? And I want to start out at the bottom. The bottom. I have the conference standings listed. This is who the NFL standings have listed as the worst team in the NFC. Are you buying, selling, or holding on the Chicago Bears right now?
They have Chicago as the worst team in the NFC, really?
I think it's just how the records are against certain teams. That's just how it is in the standings. They're not going to be there for long.
I'm buying.
Oh, same. Justin Fields these past couple weeks has been on fire. They figured out how to use him. And Luke Getsy is proven to be a very good hire for the Matt Eberflus staff. Are you buying, selling, or holding on the New Orleans Saints?
I think I'll sell on them.
I'd agree. It's just, this is a team that has a lot of issues, and their issues don't get much better in the offseason, nor will they in the future years to come. It kind of feels like this is going to be the team that everyone's going to be like, remember when they were good? I miss those years, because they're going to be bad for a while. And here's a question I want to ask you, because we went over their salary cap stuff and all that this afternoon. Do you think Sean Payton saw the future and got out when he could?
No, I don't. I just think he was burned out. I really do. I mean, look at the successful coaches that have decided, hey, look, I'm just going to go out. I mean,
Bill Cowher.
There was a couple of coaches that were just like, hey, look, I'm done. And he's got a family. He gets to spend more time with his family. He's making good money. Now, does that say that in 5 years he doesn't get the itch to come back in and coach again? Who knows? But I know every time, you listen to talk radio, or every time, you listen to, TV or whatever else, people are talking about, oh, they're going to trade for Peyton. Well, one, you can say that, but does he want? How do you know? Because you can't talk to him,
So
right?
I've seen
You
this
can't.
thrown out, and I've read this. And I don't know if it's from an actual source or not. It would take $100 million to get him into coaching right now. Which, yeah, if someone's gonna offer me $100 million to coach, I'll take that.
Definitely, and that's a great figure. But once again, so what are you going to do? Are you going to ask for the right to talk to him about trading? And does New Orleans say, yeah, go ahead and ask him if he's willing to come back into coaching? Or if you're New Orleans, do you say no? If he's going to come back into coaching, because there's a definite difference in the team, he's going to come back to our team.
I think it depends on what you can do, because here's the thing. If they agree on a deal, you have that team by the balls. Because they need him. They agree to it. They want him. What's the end of the deal? Oh, he's still under contract. Oh, he's going to stay retired. Oh, we don't pay him anything. Oh, no. It's like, this can be very beneficial for the Saints at the end of the day.
You lost me. You lost me on all that. Sorry.
Audio?
No. I just don't understand your this.
Okay. Pretty much, if Sean Payton talked with someone and they agree on a deal, who has all the power to get the deal done? The Saints. Sean Payton, he can retire. He can stay retired. They don't pay him anything. He comes back. Guess what? He's an elite head coach. You'd happily take him back on your team. With what I'm trying to say is the Saints hold all the poker chips. If you want a little slice of it, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to get that.
See, I once again disagree. I'd say that Peyton holds all the poker chips because nobody knows. And no team can talk to him
Without the Saints' permission.
without the Saints' permission. And the Saints have already said they're not going to give that permission. They said that going into this year, because everybody was talking about how, he was just going to go to Dallas. And the Saints were like, he's our head coach. And if he decides to come back, he's our head coach.
But the Saints are in a different spot than they were last year. This is a team that clearly needs to head towards a rebuild. They don't have any cap space. They have a bunch of dead cap. They need assets. They need draft assets. And Sean Payton's a non-asset for your team at this moment.
Yeah, like I said, I know the Sean Payton chat is fun and everybody wants to do it. Here we are, November 15th of 2022, and I'm saying I don't think he comes back into coaching.
You also said that about Gruden forever.
No, I never said that about Gruden.
Okay, well, buy, sell, or hold in the Carolina Panthers. This is a clear hold for me.
And see, I still sell.
The reason why I'm saying hold is I don't see them getting much better. I don't see them getting much worse. They're the exact same team. They're going to lose games. They're going to win a couple games. Now, here's an interesting one. The Los Angeles Rams. Do you buy, sell, or hold?
I'd sell on them right now without Cooper Kupp. With their, with what's coming up, if they could win the next couple games and just stay at 500 for his length of time where he's out, that's one thing. But they're going to be in a position where they'll be out of the playoffs. So,
they can
to be quite honest,
one to two losses.
If they get 1 to 2 losses, and if that's the case at that point in time, if I'm then, I sit Stafford as well, make him go in and maybe get surgery, so that you come back maybe next year and you're healthier. But
Well, here are the Rams' remaining games, real quick. Week 11 against the Saints, that's completely winnable with how the Saints are playing. Week 12 against the Chiefs, that's one loss. Week 13 against the Seahawks team, that's probably another loss. Week 14 against the Raiders, I ain't saying anything on the Raiders game. I do not trust them as far as I can throw them. Week 15 against the Packers. For what we saw of the Packers last week, that's a loss. Week 16 on Christmas Day against the Denver Broncos, I will watch that game, unfortunately, and hate myself for watching that. And I don't know who will win that game. Week 17 against Chargers, that's probably a loss. Week 18 against the Seahawks, that's probably a loss. This team is not good. It is old, and the lack of draft picks has come back to hurt them drastically. They won their Super Bowl, so guess what? Great. We have it. That's kind of it, though. And here's a question I also want to ask you now. Does Sean McVay leave the Rams, seeing the direction this team's headed to? Broadcasting booths have offered him a lot of money to get in there. Could you see him maybe considering that this upcoming offseason?
Oh, I absolutely could. He was considering it last year. So
with a team that just won the Super Bowl.
With a team that just won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I can definitely see it. And bully for him. I actually like the idea of him leaving for the broadcast booth. So
because you're a fan of the NFC West team.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that, he got a Super Bowl, and so he can move on. And,
Here's the other question. Does Aaron Donald come back next year? It was already talked about he was heavily considering retiring and almost did this offseason. Do you see him returning for next season?
Yes.
Too competitive to let this be his last year?
Too competitive for this to be his last year.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the team that owns the Rams' first-round pick, the Detroit Lions. Are you buying, selling, or holding?
I'm going to hold.
I'd agree.
And the reason why I'm going to hold is because I still think that they have a lot of upside. However, I really did not like the TJ Hawkinson trade. I thought that he's too valuable of an asset to get rid of. So, if he was still on the team, I'd buy, but I'm just going to hold.
I'm going to hold as well. Not because I think TJ Hawkinson is a massive loss. He does hurt them, but the draft capital they got, I think, is worth it at the end of the day. I'm just holding because I just don't know about this team yet. When I buy, they lose. When I sell, they win. So I'm kind of just holding and staying neutral on this. The Arizona Cardinals, are you buying, selling, or holding? Well, I sell all of the stock available with the Arizona Cardinals if Kyler Murray's a starter, and I'm buying more stock if Colt McCoy is a starter.
I'm selling. Flat out. Colt McCoy won this weekend. Guess what? He was going up against the Rams, who didn't have their starting quarterback as well, and we've already talked about how bad the Rams are right now. The Rams don't have any weapons, so to speak, and Arizona has got three pretty dynamic wide receivers. They've got a good running back. So that was kind of a no-brainer in that game.
Oh, I don't disagree, but you didn't get to watch that game, I assume, because it was on NFL Sunday Ticket for us. Not as easy to watch for us. I watched some of that game. I was mainly focused on the other afternoon game and the Colts-Raiders game that was on, and Cowboys-Packers that I had on as well. What I watched, that Cardinals offense, it was the best they have looked this year. And I'm not saying all the talent was end-all be-all. No, Colt McCoy was sitting back there making the actual reads that Kyler Murray's supposed to do, but Kyler Murray can't see past his offense line to do so. The offense looked better. And I'm not saying that Kyler Murray in Arizona is complete, just, you got to get rid of this. No. I'm saying right now is, though, if Colt McCoy is starting this week against the 49ers, I'm going to consider that game a lot more than I would if Kyler Murray was playing.
No, I'm sorry. You're once again going up against one of the worst defenses in the NFL right now. Okay.
All because
And
Bobby Wagner. Overrated.
don't go there. But you can't use a 1 week sample size when they go up against a team that is absolutely just done on the defense and say, oh, he's better than Kyler. He's not. He's not better than Kyler Murray. Can he see the field better? He's not that much taller, by the way. But
Okay, hang on. Not that much taller. Kyler Murray's shorter than what he's listed at. I'm telling everybody this now. He's shorter than
well,
what they list him at.
so is Russell Wilson. So are half the guys. Those stats lie. All right. But he's not that much bigger than Kyler Murray.
Okay, he's like,
Kyler Murray can throw the ball better. He's far more dynamic in the run game, you know. So, no. Guess what? The Rams couldn't get any pressure. There's a big problem there.
okay, how about this?
Okay.
If Colt McCoy plays Monday Night Football against 49ers, and this is if he is the starting quarterback, I'll bet you $20 the Cardinals win.
All right.
Yep, that's on. It's on record here. $20 on the Cardinals if Colt McCoy is the starting quarterback. If Kyler is, I'm not doing that. Okay. The Atlanta Falcons, are you buying, selling, or holding?
I'm holding.
Same. This is a team that the highs are highs and the lows are lows. I'm curious
Yeah.
how much longer until Desmond Ritter's the quarterback.
Yeah, I'd say that the reason why he's not is because technically they're still in the playoff hunt for both the division, and I'd say that if Tampa Bay somehow strings together a couple more wins and Atlanta, doesn't keep pace, I'd say Ritter has to come in because really got to see what you got with him.
And here's
You
the
know,
thing,
but
though. They're only a game and a half back of the wild card as well.
exactly.
So, this season's not a complete loss for the Falcons because they're already better than both you and I thought they would be. Their young talent has been playing better. It's just there's a lot of holes in this team. Now, the Green Bay Packers, are you buying, selling, or holding?
I'm gonna hold on him, and the only reason why I say I'm gonna hold on him is because they came out and did to Dallas what they should have been doing for the last 5-6 weeks, which is use their running backs to set up everything else. How long have I been saying that they should probably have both running backs on the field at the same time?
Since I made you watch that Packers Commanders game.
And that could have been it. But they finally just said, oh, wait, we're going to use our running backs. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry. Aaron Jones is one of the best running backs in the league. And Dylan is a beast. And that is an incredible 1-2 punch. And if your receivers are struggling, utilize your running game to set up some easy throws and catches for the receivers and let them, instead of trying to be tricky in the offense, let them just catch the ball and make plays with their feet.
Yeah.
So
I think this week's a big test going against the Titans on Thursday Night Football. Do I think they'll win? Well, we're going to get into that in a bit, but I want to buy in them because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks of my lifetime. Yes, that's not a lot. I was born in 2001. I've been on this earth for 21 years. I haven't seen a lot of great quarterbacks. The best I have ever seen are Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Those are my 6 best. And I'd argue Drew Brees is right behind there. He just didn't have the physically natural gifts that those men did. It's just hard for me not to buy Aaron Rodgers because I've grown up watching him just be dominant. But there's so many issues on this Packers team, I just can't trust them yet. If they come out and beat Tennessee pretty handily, I'll start buying them. Even though I have questions about Tennessee, I think it's a good win. You're stacking back-to-back good wins. So, are you buying, selling, or holding on the Washington Commanders?
I'm buying.
Welcome to the Washington Commanders bandwagon, or as I like to call it, the Riverboat Ron bandwagon, because he's the only reason I'm on this. I'm buying Washington, and you know who's confirmed to return this week? Chase Young. This defense is going to get better. This offense is so much better with Taylor Heineke at quarterback than Carson Wentz. It's night and day. This team has won 4 out of their past 5 games. Terry McLaurin is dangerous. Curtis Samuel, they're using him in different ways. Jahan Dotson's coming back. And their running backs are good. Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson is a good 1-2 punch. This is a good under-the-radar team that I think sneaks into the wild card game. Are you buying, selling, or holding on the San Francisco 49ers?
I'm holding quite simply because I've been buying on them all year long. I've been in on their defense all year long. And so I'm just going to hold because I think they are what they are.
See, you're going to punch me for this when I see you. I'm selling. I don't think this is a playoff team. I do not think their offense is good enough. And their defense is playing at a phenomenal rate. I cannot say this enough. DeMeco Ryan should be the first call on anybody's head coaching search next year. But it just feels like we're about to see them fall off. They remind me of the 2020 Steelers. And this is going to be like, well, the Steelers were undefeated for a certain stretch. The Steelers won unconvincingly because their defense was so good, but their offense was not. They remind me of this. And that defense started to get a little bit tired at the end of the year. They started to fall off a bit. And as soon as they did, the offense couldn't keep them up. And they started to fold, and they lost a lot of games down the stretch. I see that with the 49ers this year. Are you buying, selling, or holding on the Dallas Cowboys?
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to hold.
I'd agree. I think they make the playoffs because of Dak Prescott at this point. But that defense has led a couple meh games in back-to-back weeks against 2 offenses that have been struggling pretty mightily throughout the year.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at with them. They've had some issues stopping running attacks this year. And
they're in division with the Giants and Eagles.
Yeah.
And Washington.
And not to mention the fact that when you're going to get into the playoffs, you're going to be playing against teams like the Vikings, who have Dalvin Cook.
Right now, they'd be match up the Seahawks in the wildcard round, and that would be against Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. So, and they are kind of an undersized line. They're fast, but they're an undersized line. And Seattle's running game usually takes off in the second half after they've used the first half to wear people down. So, it'll be interesting to see. But I think that the running game is going to be their Achilles heel this year.
Are you buying, selling, or holding on the New York Giants?
I'm gonna hold on them. I think that they are a lot better than everybody thought they were, and Dable should be, just lauded as the hero of New York right now. But they're going to win some more games this year, but they're not going to win them all. They're still players away.
100%.
So
I'm going to hold as well, and I do think this team makes the playoffs strictly because they're 7-2 already. They're probably 2 to 3 wins away from clinching. They're a talented team, and I think they can make it. Will they do much? I don't believe so. And listen, if Daniel Jones goes on a Super Bowl run, no one's going to hear the end of it from me. No one. But I'm holding the Giants for right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are you buying, selling, or holding?
Well, we already had this discussion. I'm buying on them. I think that they're getting healthy at the right time, and I remember the game when the Patriots just were completely destroyed
Chiefs, Monday Night
by
Football.
the Chiefs. Monday Night Football. And Brady was done. And that team was done. And just, he should just ring it up. And what happened later that year?
Okay, this isn't a shot at Todd Bowles, but Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I'm saying that they played inspired football. They're getting, like I said, they're getting healthy at the right time. So, and they're in a weak division.
I read off their schedule. It's a really easy schedule. I think they win the division, and I think they lose in the wild card round. The Seattle Seahawks. Are you buying, selling, or holding?
Well, I'm gonna hold pat with him.
He's too chicken to say it.
Well, no, I came out in a previous thing and said that they're going to make the playoffs, right? They're going to make the playoffs. I firmly believe that. All right. So then it matters of, am I buying or selling? They have weaknesses that there are teams in the NFC and in the AFC that I don't think they can beat. So they are still a couple players away. And I'm super excited about where this team is going. I think that this rookie class can be, just go down in history as Seattle's best rookie class year one. Well, I'm prefacing it by saying year one because you had, a few players back in the Russ draft that were catalytic, and you have 6 players that are starting. You also have 2 other players that are playing significant time and making significant contributions. So you have 8 rookies that are making contributions. Gino is playing a lot better than myself and 99.9% of the people out there that watch football, thought he would play. And the defense is coming around. They've got a lot of weapons, and the offensive line's been doing pretty good. They're going to have stretches where the rookies struggle, but they're playing pretty well. So, yeah, I think they're going to make the playoffs, and we'll go with that.
See, I'm buying. You look at the back half of their schedule, they go 6-1 in the back half. I think this is a 12-5 team. And I know you're going to punch me next time you see me. But this is a team that's too good to not buy right now. I believe they have a shot at the 2nd seed. I don't believe they get the 1st seed in the NFC. But this is a team that's playing too good football. And here's the thing. The weather's about to get much worse across the country, isn't it?
Well, one would think.
Kenneth Walker is a monster. That's not a guy I want to be tackling in the snow. I think Seattle runs a stretch, and I think they're a viable threat to get to Arizona. And nothing bad happened last time a Super Bowl took place in Arizona.
Just out of curiosity, you said the 2nd seed. Who's going to fall off?
We're going to get to that. So, are you buying, selling, or holding on the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm buying.
Same. I think this is
although I should be saying I'm holding because I picked them to take the division. So,
see, I'm buying them because I thought they'd be good. I didn't think they'd be great. This is a great team. This is my current front runner to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Nothing bad's ever happened. Someone who said that about the Vikings.
Yeah, that's the team that I picked to win the Super Bowl last year, remember? The Vikings.
Yeah, well, I didn't buy on the Mike Zimmer, Kirk Cousins connection, but I'm buying on the I'm buying on the Kevin O'Connell, Kirk Cousins connection. I'm buying on the Justin Jefferson connection more or less with Dalvin Cook as well. This defense is too good. They're healthy right now, and that's a big reason why I think they get the 1st seed is that they're healthy. They play in the Dome. That's going to be very favorable for them. They can run their offense how they want to. It's not like in Philadelphia where it's going to get colder, conditions are going to get worse, injuries can happen. I think it's a team that's going to be clicking at the right time, and I think they're going to go on a run, and they're going to be in Arizona for their first Super Bowl appearance since, I want to say, Super Bowl IV, if I'm correct. No, they made one more. Didn't they make one more recently?
Well, yeah.
When?
But they I mean, you think about it, they were in a couple there at that point in time. So yeah.
Well, yeah, did they make one in the 70s? That's what I'm trying to remember. If they made one in the 70s or Super Bowl IV was their last one. Their last Super Bowl appearance would have been, let's see. Oh, yeah. How could I forget? 76.
Yeah.
And I should know 74 again. They lost to the Steelers. Man, I forget how many Super Bowls the Vikings have been to and lost. But anyways, I think it's a team that's going to the Super Bowl in their first time in almost 50 years. And number one, the current top seed in the NFC, are you buying, selling, or holding on the Eagles?
I picked them to win the division. They're gonna win the division. I don't know how much more buying you can do when considering they're where they're at. But I don't think anybody's going to overtake him for the 1 seed. Looking at their schedule, they got the Colts, they got the Packers, they got the Titans, they got the Giants, they got the Bears, the Cowboys, the Saints, the Giants, the Jets, the Browns, and the Dolphins. No, never mind. I'm sorry that was preseason. So they wrap up with the Giants. I'm just scrolling down. So here's potentially lose one more game. Yeah. I think that's the best team record-wise in the NFC. They're going to have the 1 seed. You talked about getting cold. Okay. And you talked about people not wanting to have to tackle K9. You don't want to have to tackle Hurts either.
Okay, for clarification, for non-Seahawks fans, even though I'm putting 2 and 2 together because I know he wears number 9, who is K9?
Sorry, Kenneth Walker. So, you don't want to have to go into Minnesota when it's cold and have to go up against that offensive line, have to go up against that running attack, and that quarterback that'll run too. And their defensive line is strong. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm holding quite simply because they are who I thought they were.
Okay, well, so I'm selling strictly on the fact I don't think they remain the 1 seed. I think it's a team that's winning the division. I think they're a very good football team. But I didn't realize this until today. So, since Jordan Davis has been hurt, and he is on IR, he cannot return till the Titans game. So they're minimum losing him for 2 games. How many yards per carry are they allowing on the ground?
I don't know, 6.
5.8 yards per carry running. Washington, a team with a much weaker O-line than a lot of other teams in the NFL, ran over them. Texans, a team with a much weaker O-line than a lot of other teams, ran over them. I'm concerned about them stopping the run without Jordan Davis. Because the clear-cut way to beat them, it looks like, is run the ball, time of possession. You got Jonathan Taylor this week. Say whatever you want about Jeff Saturday. Oh, he's not a head coach. He should not be here. Jonathan Taylor's a threat. The following week, you have the Packers, who are going to be more rested because they're playing Thursday Night Football this week. They're going to have a longer rest period, a mini-bye almost. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, as we talked about. And if Davis isn't healthy by week 13, they play Derrick Henry. There are issues if they cannot stop the run, because Washington proved that's how you beat them. I do think this is a very good team. I think they win their division. I am selling now because I think they're going to drop a couple games until Davis gets back. I think they win the back half when he gets back, but until then, I think they're going to be a bit on the struggle bus.
So you think that the Colts are going to beat them?
We're going to get into that in a bit. We have to do our picks still.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to wrap us up, and it's time to do our picks. Thursday Night Football. We've already talked about it. Oh, wow. So I'm wrong. We're on week 12 of the NFL season. Okay, week 12. Thursday Night Football, Titans-Packers.
I'm going to go Titans.
Same. Oh, wait, no, we're on week 11. My stupid phone.
I was wondering about that because Seattle's on their bye and they're 6-4.
Yeah. My phone, for some reason, was not loading the proper week 11 games. So I went to week 12 because they were showing last week's. Whatever, the NFL app just messed me up majorly. Titans-Packers, week 11. Give me the Titans. I'm not taking the Titans. I'm taking Derrick Henry. Let's call it what it is. But, and I'm going to ask you this, are you concerned with the Titans' ability to run the ball? Because they went away from that against the Chiefs, and they only got 50 rushing yards with Derrick Henry against the Broncos.
No, and the reason why, I think Denver was selling out to stop the run. I mean, if you go back and you watch that game, Denver was just selling out. They were run blitzing almost every play.
Why would I willingly rewatch a Broncos game? I don't hate myself.
I'm just saying. So Denver's got a good defense. They've got a good defensive line.
They do.
Their interior of their defense is pretty good. So no, I don't think there's a problem with Derrick Henry and running. Why'd they switch it up against KC? Don't know. But yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay. Bears at the Falcons, and I'm just going to take a quick minute. The Falcons are favored by 3.5 points. If you like free money, hit the Bears at plus 3.5. I'm just giving that as a quick gambling tip. Because I'm going to take the Bears to win.
I'm going to take the Bears.
Panthers at the Ravens.
Ravens.
So, I'm a little concerned about Baltimore stopping the run with how the Panthers have been able to do that with the left side with Ika McQuan, who don't know why it's blanking on his name, and Brady Christensen. They've been able to run the ball very good on the left side. I think that'll continue. That being said, I still think Baltimore's a better team. So give me the Ravens.
I think you're forgetting who had a very successful game one as a Raven and completely changed their run defense. Roquan, yeah.
I still think Panthers have success running the football on them. I don't think it's enough to win. I don't think it's enough to keep it close. I still think they have some success. Browns at a ticked off Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to take Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm going to take Buffalo. And again, I'm going to give out some gambling tips tonight. I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take them to cover by 8.5 points. This is going to be a slaughter. Commanders at the Texans.
I'm going to take the Commanders.
Same. I think Washington's clicking right now, and Taylor Heineke for MVP. Who knows? He started winning when he started playing. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Indianapolis Colts.
Eagles.
See, here's where I'm going to spice it up. I'm going to get crazy here. I'm going to take the 5.8 yards per carry, and I'm going to put Jonathan Taylor up to that. Hey, can you get me that per carry? You can. Give me the Colts. Jets at the Patriots.
Pass.
Did you say Pats? Pats
No,
or pass?
I said pass. This game, I haven't called the Jets games right all year long, with the exception of when I said they'd beat Denver.
Well, who didn't see that coming?
A lot of people. So what I'm going to say is I will take the Patriots.
I don't trust the Jets offense. I don't like Zach Wilson against Bill Belichick. Give me the Patriots. I think turnovers happen. I think it screws over the Jets. Rams at the Saints. And arguably the worst matchup of the week. Oh, wait, no. We have a Broncos game still.
I'm going to take the Saints.
Same. Lions at the Giants.
I'm going to take the Giants.
So, I'm going to get this game wrong. I get every Lions game wrong. Because no matter who I pick, the opposite's going to happen. So I'm just going to make sure you don't get one up on me. I'm going to take the Giants with you. And, the game I'm dreading. Raiders at the Broncos.
Pass.
Can I pass on watching the game?
I'm going to go with the Raiders. No, I'm sorry. No, actually, no. I'm going to go with the Broncos. And the reason why I'm going to go with the Broncos is because their defense is still playing good ball. And so, yeah.
That's why I'm going to make a quick shout out here. That's Good Sports. Brandon Perna, he does great work covering the Denver Broncos on his channel. He has this series called The Worst Game I've Ever Seen, The New Worst Game I've Ever Seen, The New Worst Game I've Ever Seen, and The New Worst Game I've Ever Seen. He just titled the Titans video. You're going to have to add another new to that new worst game ever because this is going to be a bad game. I think the Broncos win. Does a team score 20 points in this game? That's the real question. Does a team score over 15 points?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I don't know.
What's the over-under?
I'll have to pull that up. But as I'm pulling that up, not Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals at the Steelers.
I'm going to go Bengals.
See, there's two things here that's driving this pick. One, I'm biased, and I will never pick the Bengals against the Steelers if I see a chance of the Steelers winning. Two, the Steelers are 7-1 in the color rush jerseys. That's enough for me to pick them. Jerseys matter. I'm going to regret those words. Cowboys at the Vikings.
I'm going to go Vikings.
Okay, a quick little update. The over-under set on the Broncos-Raiders game on the thing I use is at 41.5.
Yeah, I might hit the under on that.
Yeah, I'd hit the under too. Give me the Vikings to win. I think we kind of just talked about the biggest issue with Dallas and the biggest success of Minnesota. Dallas can't stop the run. Minnesota has Dalvin Cook. Need I explain more? Chiefs at the Chargers.
Chiefs.
See, I want to pick the Chiefs. I really want to. But I'm going to go against my better judgment and pick the Chargers. This team is too talented. It is too talented to lose as many games as it has already. It is too talented to lose 5 games this season. I have to believe.
Did you see they just lost another defensive lineman?
I do. But damn it, I'm picking them anyways. Against my better judgment. But I have to have hope that a team with this much high-end talent is good. Because if not, my brain is just going to break. And up next, 49ers at the 49ers Cardinals, Mexico City.
Niners.
So I think we kind of went over it. There's kind of conditions on this game for me. If Kyler Murray plays, I'm taking the Niners. If he doesn't, I'm taking the Cardinals. We have $20 on this already.
Yep.
And we're going to be reviewing that game next week.
Okay.
So, everyone, we're going to be reviewing the 49ers and Cardinals game. Mostly because there's going to be a Cardinals video coming out the day after that on this channel. So, we're going to cover them in that game, you're going to come back and listen to me rant about Cliff Kingsbury more the next day. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, and I'm going to lose some blood vessels screaming and yelling. But that's going to wrap us up for this week. I hope everyone is safe. Be safe out there. Winter conditions are hitting us. Drive safe, and just again, be safe and have a great day.